Since Sunday evening, there have been reports of unrest and violence coming out of the state of Haryana. It has continued for 3 consecutive nights, with one mosque being attacked and a shanty and several shops being set on fire. In our attempt to bring you the news as it happens in the most measured way, our team at Beatroot has a tie up with the team at Quint, where we get to sit down with the reporters at Quint who are on the ground right now to find out what they're seeing during their reports. Joining us today is Fatima Khan, principal correspondent at the Quint, who is currently on the ground in Haryana. Remember, for our viewers, if you want more news and updates, you can download the Beatroot app. And for specifics of the reports that Fatima is going to talk about in this video, you can take a look at the Quint. Fatima, thank you so much for joining us. I first want to understand from you what the situation is on the ground right now.
Well, first, till late last night, there was information of shops being burned. We have reporters on the ground. I was on the ground witnessing shops. And let me be clear, these are shops in relatively from mid to high profile areas. These are not shops that are on the margins from Sector 69, they have people of all backgrounds living socioeconomically, but these are areas that are frequented by people who often come to Gurgaon to visit their offices or relatives. These are also places that see frequent footfall of people who come to shop all sorts of things. Like, for example, yesterday, when I went to visit the people near the mosque that was set on fire, and the Naib Imam who was killed. The area adjacent to it, very close to it, is the Banjara market, which is a very famous furniture market where people of especially a very high social strata do often come to shop very frequently. So I just want to make it clear that these aren't things that are happening on the margins as people tend to imagine, but very much in central Gurgaon. I also traveled to Nuh and Sona. I, things there are honestly way worse in terms of just the damage that has been done. The minute you enter Sona and Nu, you will see hordes of shops, just an entire slew of shops that have been set on fire, vehicles that have been set on fire, uh, cars that were being towed. Yesterday, when I visited, cars that were being towed by the officials, including police cars that have been set on fire completely, stone pelted. So the situation does continue to be volatile. It would hold us in good stead to just wait and watch and not really assume where things would go from here. But till yesterday, people were leaving their homes in Sona at least. They were fleeing. I met many of them. Um, Many people, families that have been living there for decades, they said that we just want to leave from here as soon as possible. We should have done that before the yatra because certain videos did go viral of people from the Bajrang Dal making it clear that they'll participate in the rally, and that should have been enough of a warning sign for us, but we didn't leave, and now we regret it. These are people whose homes I went to, whose homes windows had been shattered, stone pelted, and they somehow managed to get their women and children of the homes away the previous night. But the men of the homes, they felt that they could brave it out, but not anymore. They feel that they should also flee.
Would you tell us what kind of police presence there is on the ground right now, and what kind of police presence there was at last night? When those shanties were set on fire.
So the police presence is very high. I mean, we know that on Monday itself, by Monday evening, there were a bunch of notices issued by the police, very clearly saying that okay, from the internet that had been curtailed in various parts of Haryana, not Gurgaon, but Sona, Nu, everywhere else. Section 144 was imposed in different parts of Haryana. The minute I went to the mosque, which was yesterday, which is Tuesday morning, I saw heavy police presence around the mosque. The entire area was barricaded. But I feel the one thing that reporters are frequently noticing is that police presence does not necessarily equate to there not being any violence. And we've seen that repeatedly taking place in Delhi during the Delhi riots and even now. For instance, just yesterday, when I was in Sona, which is very close to Gurgaon, we had crossed Sona and we've gone to Nu, and then we got an alert that there's a fresh spate of violence in Sona. A mosque has been vandalized in Sona, and we were just there. And when we were there, we saw an entire cavalcade of police cars taking out a peace march, a peace rally. And honestly, when things like these happen, it gives an indication to the public that things will be peaceful now. And an hour from that peace march, this mosque right adjacent to where that lane is, where the peace march was taken out, was attacked. So we rushed back to Sona, and when we entered, that story is out on the Quint. You'll see that this mosque, it's a very big mosque. It's the primary mosque in Sona called the Shahi Jama Masjid. It's been vandalized entirely. When I went in, the people, they were sitting at the footsteps and they were in obviously utter shock. They said that 20 police officers were stationed here since last night. So we felt very safe. We did not leave. We were planning on leaving, but we did not leave because of the repeated assurances of the authorities, the peace march that was taken out. All of that was an indication that things will be fine. So we stayed put. So what usually happens in mosques is that the caretakers, and in these bigger mosques, the caretakers' families also live, right? And there's a madrasa right, within the mosque premises. So there were children there as well when the mob attacked. They said that we all went into hiding in the innermost corners of the mosque. So when the mob came, we were all looking from our respective rooms, but we made it seem like no one is here. So the mob probably thought that the mosque is empty, everyone has fled, but we could see everything in front of our eyes. The vandalism went on for a good 15-20 minutes. They said that what had happened right before the vandalism was that the police officers who were stationed near the mosque, they got distracted because there was some hullabaloo on the main road, which is right opposite, and they all went there. And the mob, they used that distraction and they barged in. That's also what the police officials have confirmed to us. And they did this. And the sense clearly was that, look, we should have left yesterday. We didn't leave, and that is something that we are living to regret now. We saw death so closely. We saw our entire mosque vandalized. We have video and photos of that mosque, and they are now planning to leave. But things are very volatile, and so travel is also very difficult.
Fatima, the Chief Minister, Manohar Lal Khattar, has put out a statement saying that he believes this is a well planned conspiracy, a larger conspiracy against the state of Haryana. Is there any, have the police shared any evidence to this effect as to why they believe this may be a planned conspiracy from outsiders?
The police isn't saying anything on the record at the moment. Things are very, very tense, and so any kind of indication that something of this sort may be happening, uh, in so many words, will is likely to make things worse. For example, yesterday on Monday, Home Minister Anil Vij, he said that, this, he said something very similar, and he also said that close to 3,500 to 5,000 people were trapped in a temple. All of these statements, they do strike a more alarmist note. But I will say this, right? Yatras like these are fairly common. Forget Shobha Yatras, but even rallies taken out by VSP and Bajrangal, frequently, almost every other week, we get posters on our phone saying that there's this rally here in this part of Haryana, in this part of Delhi. I think what makes this particular rally different from the others was that just 2 or 3 days before this rally, ahead of this rally, two Bajrang Dal members, Monu Manesar and Bittu Bajrangi, put out videos talking about how they will be present in the rally. I must remind the viewers right now that Monu Manesar is a murder accused in the Nasir and Junaid murder. Or he's been charged. He's named in the case. He's named in the FIR. He's named in the charge sheet. And he is someone who is technically an accused in the murder case. And he went into hiding for many months. He went off social media. He wasn't present, and suddenly he's come back with this bravado. When he puts out this video, and that good video is circulated and made to go viral, there is this sense of fear and paranoia that emerges amongst the larger public, that what will happen. This accused in a murder case is going to show up here. Now, what we do know so far, and this is something the police has confirmed to us unofficially, that Monu wasn't present in the rallies. He didn't eventually show up. People also don't claim to having seen him. But even before that, the stage was set in such a manner that people were scared, people were terrified of what could potentially happen.
Is the internet still curtailed in Sona and other parts of Haryana?
It is still curtailed, it is still dead. In fact, when we went there is when we saw, so, usually when these processions take place, immediately after you will see videos of the procession going viral or the violence going viral. There haven't been as many videos, if you notice this time around, and that's because the internet has been completely jammed. When I was there, I, for example, completely for an entire day, I could not get in touch with any of my colleagues to file my reports. So but when we went there, we did see that people took videos of the procession of the violence on their phones that we were able to record from our phones. But in moments like these, what an internet ban also ends up doing is that it makes people feel a little more suffocated, where they felt like our voice isn't really going out. Look, this has happened to us, and we aren't even being able to put it out there. So that I understand the rationale from an administrative point of view, but it does end up aggravating a lot of the anxieties.
Uh, Tell me this. You did say, of course, that it's not unusual for this to happen in police presence as well. In your opinion, do you believe the police is doing enough?
I mean, I feel that the police could always be doing a lot more, right? Like, for example, the instances we saw, these are things that have happened. Not, and I keep underlining this point because there is this sense that I feel that, people tend to imagine these things taking place in some remote, obscure corner of the world or the country. Not that that would be okay, but these are places that, as it is, have so many people living. They have police stations right there. Almost every place that has witnessed high amounts of violence and destruction have a police chowki right there. People's biggest complaint was that if we know that such a Shobha Yatra is taking place, it's going to go through Muslim dominated areas. There might be some sort of provocation. We've seen this happen repeatedly in Jahangirpuri and earlier. Why is there no more police presence? There should be more police along with the Shobha Yatra and not as an afterthought, not after the destruction has been done. So that sense that police showing up later, like even yesterday, I saw so much police, and yet the violence continued to happen. Right? It's not that it was day two of the violence, so things were relatively better in the sense that there weren't as many incidents. But why was there any incident at all when there is so much police presence? It honestly became difficult for us to even sometimes navigate the roads because everywhere there was some sort of barricade, there was some sort of police presence that was stopping us from going through that path. So there's clearly police presence on the ground. Why aren't they acting? Why is fresh violence still taking place?
Fatima, thank you so much for speaking with us. I do hope we can sit down with you again when all of this has died down to go over everything one more time. Fatima Khan is principal correspondent with the Quint. For our viewers, for more news and updates, do remember to download the Beatroot News app. It's available across the world right now on all platforms, completely free to use. And of course, for specifics and more to read on the stories that Fatima was talking about, you can take a look at the Quint, both the app and the website. Thank you for watching.